and welcome to the Essex Sport Facebook page. My name is Tracy and I'm going to be doing a 30-minute freestyle fitness yoga session this afternoon. So all you will need is a mat if you have one, otherwise a nice safe clear space that you can follow the exercises and the sequences in. If you haven't done the session before, you're not too familiar with the exercises, please stop and watch if you need to. Join in again as soon as you're ready, and make sure you're comfortable with whatever we're working through as well. A couple of things probably to mention for this particular session. We are going to be taking stances with our legs a little bit wider, so please make sure your surface that you're on is not slippery. Okay, and also we've got a little bit of balance work that we're going to be working through, so just bear that in mind if you've got a particularly spongy carpet at home or your floor isn't quite as firm as the studio floor. Just be aware of that when we're working through our balances as well, and you might need to adjust a little bit compared to what you would do in the studio. But otherwise, work with what you're comfortable with, take your time, and just ease off and watch, grab a drink at any point if you need to. Okay, and if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up so everyone can hear me at home. And we're going to get started. So we're going to start nice and slow. We're going to start on the floor, and then we'll be working our way up to standing for our standing poses, standing sequence, and a little bit of balance work. So when you're ready to, just find a space just on one end of your mat, okay? And we'll get started from there. Okay, so we've got a nice bit of space in front. So we're going to take the knees a little bit wider than the toes and bring the toes together. We've got a triangle base through the legs. And we're reaching the arms in front, and then just sitting the hips back towards the heels. Okay, so the chest just moving low to the floor. And try to spread the fingers, press the palms down into the mat. And we're just pausing here for a moment. So we're just focusing on a few steady breaths. And just relaxing as much as you can just into this position. Right, so when you're ready to, we're just going to slowly walk the hands in, just so you come up to a seated position. And we can adjust the legs if you need to, we're not here for very long. And we're just going to lift the chest, bring the shoulders back and down, and then a slow, steady breath here. Right, perfect. So we're going to start just with a shoulder roll. So just that little bit of movement through the upper body to begin with. Let's see how that feels through the shoulders. Okay, we're going to link that in with the breath as well, so maybe inhale, lift the shoulders, exhale, releasing back. Right, lovely. One more time round. So we're just going to change that movement slightly. So we're still focusing through the upper body, through the shoulders, but we're going to round, bringing the arms forwards. And we're going to open the chest as we sweep the arms behind. Okay, keep that movement small. You can make it a little bit bigger if you want to. And again, just seeing how that feels through the upper body. Right, let's do one more of each. Lovely. Arms overhead. So taking a stretch, up and over, deep breath in. And release. Bring the arms down behind. So we're going to link the hands just behind the lower back. And we'll draw the shoulders back, so lifting the chest. And releasing down. And let me show you this from the front. So we're going to bring one hand just down by your side. We're going to lift through the centre. This time just taking that stretch over to the side. Okay, so we're going to lift through the side of the body, through to the fingers. Just feel that stretch along the side of the body. Do the same to the other side. So again, we keep those movements slightly smaller if you want to. We can reach that a little bit further across if it feels comfortable too. And release. Lovely. One hand in the other. Bring the arms forwards. And slight bend in the elbow. We're just tucking the chin down towards the chest. Okay, so that stretch over really just between the shoulder blades, across the top of the back. And then finally, just lifting the arms up overhead and releasing wide. Right, fantastic. We're going to very slowly make our way up to standing from here. So just going to get onto the balls of the feet. And we're going to start just by extending the legs. Okay, so just work through that slowly. Again, see how that feels. Maybe keep the knees soft if you need to, slight bend. And then slowly uncurling when you're ready to. So we're slowly coming up to standing. And let's take that movement all the way through. So reaching the arms overhead and then releasing wide. Right, fantastic. So we're going to come back to the focus through the shoulders to start with. So that time that movement will be a little bit bigger, so we can use the arms to roll the shoulders back. Lovely. One more time. Perfect. Right, arms down by your sides. So we're going to reach overhead, palms are facing. What we're going to do this time is just lift onto the balls of the feet. So lifting the heels, and just reaching all the way through. Releasing the heels down, arms down by your sides. So from here, we're going to sink a little bit lower in the legs. So we're going to bend the knees. Okay, push the hips back. And just reaching the arms up in front, so we bring the focus through the hands and return to standing. Right, so work through just those three movements together. So big shoulder roll, Once round this time. Palms facing, so lifting in the center, lifting the heels. Releasing down when you're ready to, sinking low in the legs, so flexing at the knees, the hips, and just gently pressing down through the heels. Return to standing. Right, final time through then, so just big shoulder roll in your own time. Arms extended, heels lifted. And release. Bend the knees, the hips, push the hips back. And then pushing back to standing. And releasing. Right, so this is where a little bit of balance comes in. Okay, so be better, just be mindful of the space around you and just how that balance feels at home. So we're going to lift one knee to start with. So knees in line with the hip, chest lifted. All we're going to do for now is just bring the hands to the chest and we'll find that point to focus on. So this is our point where we're seeing how that balance feels, adjusting where we need to. And if you're happy to, just run the arms overhead and release. We're going to just do the same on the other side. So quite often you might find one side that balance feels a little bit more natural, a little bit more confident than the other side. So again, pause in here and try to think about that supporting legs. This will be really important for our balances. So we're just engaging the thigh through the centre of the body and then running that attention, that control through to the fingers as the arms extend. Perfect. Right, reset the shoulders, feet about hip distance. Let's come back to those first few movements. So big shoulder roll, exhale, release. Arms overhead, so lifting the heels. And releasing down. Flexing the knees, the hips, and then lowering the legs. And returning up to standing. So that first side, we're going to lift the knees. So either side, again, take a moment just to find that control. Arms reaching up. All we're going to do this time is extend that leg forward. So arms pushing out to the side, and then that leg's extending. We can keep it low, we can tap it down at any point if you need to. Okay? Again, just that, keeping that control as we move around different parts of the body. And then placing that foot down. Let's go again, big shoulder roll. Lifting in the center, lifting the heels. And release, lowering the legs, push the hips back. And then returning. So the other side, whichever knee you haven't lifted already. So we're lifting that leg. And again, taking that little bit of time to find our balance. Right, legs extending forward, palms just pushing out to the side. And maybe flex the foot, so we're thinking about lengthening down the back of that extended leg. And release. Perfect. Right, so a little bit of shift through the weight now. So we're going to come back to that first side, lifting the knee, hand to the chest. Fantastic. Right, arms extending. And legs going to move behind this time. So maybe just have it on at first if you need to. We're going to bring the arms down the side of the body, take the leg behind. So it's just a small movement. We're not going to move very far at the moment. Okay, but that pivot point, that movement's coming at the hip joint. Okay, so that long line from the heel through to the top of the head. But you can keep that as high as you need to, just while we practice that movement and that control for our balance. So we'll go on the other side. So knee raised, hands at the chest. If you just want to stay here, that's absolutely fine. Okay, the arms otherwise coming down by your side. Leg extending behind. Again, we don't have to move any further forward if you want to. We're just starting to gauge how that movement feels and where we can find that point of balance. And we've got quite confident there as well. And then just returning to standing. Let's take a big stretch overhead. Fantastic. Let's do a little bit of movement through the hips just to work us through our warm up a little bit more as well. Okay, so standing nice and tall, just bring the knee across and out to the side. And as we work through our standing poses, there's going to be a lot of movement that's coming from the hip joints. And so just making sure that feels a little bit more comfortable. Changing legs when you're ready to as well. Right, perfect. One more time. And then coming back to the centre. Right, so the toes angled out ever so slightly, so a little bit wider through the feet. Then take a deep breath in the centre. As you release that, we're sweeping the arms down towards the floor. Okay, so a nice big movement, as long as you're comfortable too, see how that feels. And maybe working with the breath, so inhale, lift, exhale, and release. Let's do that 2 more times. Right, lovely. And then bringing the arms back down again. So we're going to be just towards the front of the mat, so if you have that mat at home. We're going to be stepping back, so just building up to our sequence at the moment. So we're going to step back just on one side. As you do, that back hip is opening slightly, so some movement's coming from. You're going to find the foot is turning out to the side slightly. Flex the knee on the front leg, so knees over the ankle, chest is lifted, arms are reaching overhead. So we're pausing here for a moment. And again, let's see how that feels on the floor, so we'll make sure you're not feeling like you're going to slip anywhere. You have got socks on, the maybe taking the socks off might be helpful as well. See how you feel. And release. Right, well, nice big movement here. We're going to sweep fingertips a little bit closer to the floor so the chest moves towards the thigh. Right, one more time. Lovely. And release. Pivoting round. So just turn the back foot in, step the feet together, big stretch overhead. And so we go on the other side. So step that other foot back. Okay, so stepping back. Again, taking a bit of time, adjusting the stance through the feet. Opening the hips so that puts out to the side slightly on the back leg. Knees over the ankles, flexing through the front leg. And then pausing here. Okay, you want to try and get the weight fairly even between the two feet. So we're pressing down evenly between the two into the mat. That movement when you're ready to. So sweeping forwards, chest moves that a little bit lower towards the front thigh. Right, final time. And then releasing the arms down. So that pivot round on the back foot. So we're bringing the hips square, stepping the feet together. Big stretch overhead. Lovely, bring the shoulders up and down. Nice. Okay, so from here we're going to take the feet a little wider. We're going to come into the centre of the mat. Okay, so the toes are angled out, just as wide as you're comfortable with the feet. Arms are sweeping up in the centre. So we've got a deep breath in. We're going to exhale. Press the palms together, relax the shoulders, and then reverse. So lift and release. Lovely. Now either side, choose a foot. We're going to open the hip and turn that foot to the front of the mat. So we're turning the foot out. That back foot is turning in ever so slightly, and then we're flexing through the knee on the front leg. This time, drawing the arms level with the shoulders. Right, take a moment there. Let's have a quick check. Knees over the ankle on that front leg. Shoulders are over the hips, so try not to lean forward or back. So we're pausing here. Again, you can take a bit of time adjusting the position of the feet and the legs if you need to. Fantastic. What we're going to do this time through is just reach up through the front of the body. Okay, so legs stay where they are. We've got that extension through the body, through to the fingers. And release. Right, turn back to the centre then. So bringing the hips to face forwards again. We're going to do the same on the other side. So to start with that big sweep round, exhale, hands coming down to the chest. Inhale, lift. As you release, let's turn out on the hip on that front leg. Turn in slightly on the back leg at the hip. Knees over the ankle, arms running level with the shoulders. Pausing here. Again, just try and pull back so shoulders are over the hips. And that focus past the fingers when you're ready to. Deep breath in. So we've got that extension through the front of the body. So just reaching up and extending all the way through to the fingers. Legs staying where they are. And release. Right, let's come back to the centre. And then bring the feet a little bit closer. Okay. Right, we're going to take a nice big movement before we pop at the start of our sequence together. So feet this time hip distance. We're going to lift in the centre. As you exhale this time, we're sweeping. Slightly narrower stance. Okay, so fingertips just coming down towards the floor. With the breath, exhale, release. Inhale, lifting back up. Let's do that twice more. And one more time. Right, fantastic, well done. Bring the arms down, pull the shoulders back. Okay, so we're going to come right back to the start there. So we've got that balance. Take your time, stay with our knee raised if you prefer. Otherwise, we're going to look to just bring the body that little bit further forwards. So feet at hip distance, chest is lifted, arms down by your side. Right, big shoulder roll once round, let's go. Right, lifted in the centre, palms are facing, we're lifted onto the balls of the feet. So running that tension right through to the fingers, releasing when you're ready to. Sinking low in the legs, so remember right back to where we started. Push the hips back, press down through the heels. Pushing back to standing. So this is where our balance starts then. So we're going to lift one side, so we're lifting the knee comes level with the hip. Hands at the chest. Right, when you're ready to, look at the arms extended. Now you're very welcome to stay here if that's where you want to stay. Otherwise, arms are coming down by your side. I'm going to draw that leg behind. Okay, so our pivot point is at the hip. So we're moving the chest a little bit further forwards. Okay, you can pause wherever you want to. If you're quite confident with this balance, done this one before, and you feel okay to, then we can get that just a little bit lower and that line running through the length of the body. Good. Take your time, coming back up to standing, roll the shoulders back. We do the same on the other side. So that knee lifted, hands at the chest. Right, in your own time here. Okay, so the leg extends behind. Okay, we can start to move the chest forwards, Again, we're pausing wherever feels best for you. Okay, if you want to take the arms a little bit wider, that's certainly going to help with our balance as well. Okay, if it's slightly more challenging, got the option of the arms just running overhead, so that long line a little bit longer through the body, and we can return to standing at any point. Lovely, right, let's take the feet wide. Okay, so toes angled out ever so slightly, hips are facing forwards, deep breath in. Exhale, bringing the hands down to the chest. In reverse then, so lifting the arms. I'm going to start just on one side, so we're opening on the hip. Flexing through the front knee, turn that back foot in ever so slightly. Arms are level with the shoulders. Pausing here. Yeah, if you're happy with the legs where they are, that next movement is just extending up through the front of the body. So we're reaching through to the fingers. Fantastic. And release. So we're going to reach that a little bit further forwards. Okay, so shifting the weight forwards this time, reaching through to the fingers. Okay, a little bit more focus through the front leg as well. Perfect. So our stretch here is going to come over to the side. So we're going to rest the hand onto the thigh and reach that arm overhead. Yeah, so you feel that stretch just along the side of the body and releasing when you're ready to. Bring the arms level. For now, we're just coming back to the centre. Fantastic. Same to the other side, so let's sweep the arms round. Exhale, hands to chest. Right, through in reverse then, so lifting up and release. Open at the hip, turn the foot, and turning in ever so slightly on that back foot. Deep breath once you're there, a little adjustment if you need to. Right, reaching up then, so through the front of the body, pause in there. Fantastic, guys. So that hand that's in the air, we're going to be reaching forwards. Okay, so reach that a little bit further forwards, the focus, moving past the fingers. And then releasing, drawing the shoulders back when you're ready to move back to the centre. Perfect, right. For now, step the feet a little bit closer. And we're going to add to that as we go. Okay, so grab a little drink if you need to. Hopefully we're starting to feel a little warmer now as well. Okay, I'm just going to grab a quick drink from here. So really take your time with this one, guys. We're on our feet quite a lot. You will find that the legs are getting a little bit wider as we go as well. So just adjust the feet, take your time. Make sure you don't feel like you're going to slip at any point. And the floor's comfortable for you. Right, okay. Right, into the centre of the mat then. That comfortable position, feet hip distance. Draw the shoulders back and down. Right, big shoulder roll, let's go. Lifting through the centre, lifting the heels, lifting through to the fingers. Fantastic. Right, sinking down through the legs, so we're going low first. Press down through the heels, anchor the hips back, and release. Right, so that first knee lifted then, so drawing the knee up, level with the hip. Right, fantastic guys, our balance is either staying here, or we're taking that leg behind we want to. I'm going to turn to the side, I'm definitely going to find that wall behind otherwise. So from here, moving the chest forwards, finding that point to focus on. You can put the feet down at any point if you need to. And then returning back to standing. Same on the other side, so that knee lifted. Right, off we go. Drawing the chest forwards. Remember, we can change the position of the arms to make it a little bit more supported, help with that balance, or a little bit more challenging, keeping the arms that bit narrower as well. And then return to standing. Take the feet wider. Okay, so we're working through the legs for this next part. So deep breath in, exhale, gently pressing the hands together, and then reverse. So we're going to start just on that first side, opening the hip, flexing through the knee on the front leg, shoulders in line with the hips. Reaching up, so we're reaching out a little bit taller. And then that arm reaching forwards, okay, so we're shifting the weight into the front leg a little bit more. Okay, focus past the fingers. Fantastic. Resting on the thigh and a stretch moving over to the side. Right, perfect. As we release this time, we're going to pivot round on the back foot. Okay, so we're bringing the hips square. Just making it find your feet are quite wide, so you're very welcome to step a little bit closer if you prefer. Okay, so the arms are reaching overhead, and that focus, that stretch is really going to be through the hip flexors, the front of the hip, and that back leg. Right, fantastic. Right, try to take the arms out a little wider, so we're going to bend at the knees. Okay, so we're bend at the knees, we're going to bend at the elbows. We've got 90 degrees at the elbows, fingers spread wide, and release. Sweeping forwards. level with the hips. Obviously, body's all over the place. Say arms are level with the shoulders. Okay, and then turning back to the centre. Right, deep breath in. Exhale, bringing the hands down to the chest. Let's do the same on the other side. And release. Right, so we're opening at the hip, we're flexing at the knee, shoulders level with the hips. Good. Right, keep the legs where they are, reaching up when you're ready to. And then reaching a little bit further forwards. Okay, so we're shifting the focus onto the front leg. Our stretch coming over to the side. So we can rest on the thigh, reach that arm across. So that long line through the body, feeling the stretch just along the side of the body. Fantastic. Okay, this is where our lunge comes in. So we're going to pivot around to that back foot, definitely a little bit wide. So step the feet in, flexing the front knee, arms up. Pause in there, and then taking the elbows to 90 degrees. Okay, try and draw the elbows back. You're going to feel that stretch just through the front of the chest as well. And release. Sweeping forwards, coming back to where we started, and then coming back to the centre. And this final part, we're going to bring the hands around behind, and we're just going to stretch through the front of the chest. We're drawing the shoulders back, the shape from the side. We're just linking the hands down behind the lower back. And relaxing, releasing the arms when you're ready to. Right, let's have a nice big sweeping movement, and we'll just do that a couple more times to either side. Okay, so feet just a comfortable distance, toes out. We did this earlier. Deep breath in, exhale, release. Okay, so just feel that a little bit through the legs. Hopefully they're a little bit warmer as well. So nice big movement. Right, final time. Right, fantastic. And release. Couple of stretches. So moving one hand into the other. Slight bend in the elbow, chin just dropping towards the chest. Pause in there. Right, so that lift in the centre. Exhale and releasing wide. Right, okay guys, we're going to go right from the beginning. So we're going to keep it nice and flowing. Okay, take your time. As we've found, the feet do move quite wide, so just make sure you're comfortable with each position as we work our way through. It's absolutely no need to rush. Okay, yeah, we'll go from there. See everyone. Oh, hello, thank you for joining us. Okay, so we're going to be just to one end of your mat. We're in the centre, it probably doesn't matter too much for you guys. And we've got our balance that we're going to start with. Okay, so comfortable distance apart with the feet, back hip distance, chest lifted, shoulders are back and down. Right, so that big shoulder roll to start with. Use the arms, exhale, release, lifting through the centre. Right, lowering the legs, so bend the knees, the hips, pressing down through the heels. And then returning to standing. Fantastic, we've got our balance. Okay, so you're going to lift one knee. Again, we're really adapting this just to where you feel comfortable to get home. Okay, so we can pause here, we can draw the leg behind, we can move the chest a little bit further forwards if you're comfortable. Alright, think about where the arms are. If it's hand by your side, then we're drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Okay, we can maybe bring them together at the chest. And just returning to standing at any point when you're ready to. Let's go again. Other side, knee lifted. Finding that point to focus on. You can really use the breath as well just to help with this balance, so steady breaths. Again, just returning to standing at any point. Right, okay, so we take the feet that little bit wider. We're in the centre of the mat. Deep breath in, take the arms wide. Exhale to the chest. Right, fantastic. Right, so we're coming back to that first side there. It's a little bit more flowing again as we go through this time. Reaching up. Still quite low in the legs. As we release, reaching a little bit further forwards. Good. Now stretch coming over to the side. So we can keep that support on the thigh. And if you're comfortable too, if you've been here before, then we can take it a little bit lower if you want to. So the hands just reaching down towards the floor on the inside of the leg. Okay, we'll just a little more rotation through the body on this one. So see what feels comfortable. And then coming back up. Right, we're going to pivot around on the back foot, so this is where we're going to have quite our big lunge. Okay, so adjust the feet when you need to, arms reaching up overhead. As we bend the arms, taking the hands wide, so 90 degrees of the elbows. Then gentle stretch through the chest for this one. And release. Sweeping forwards, keeping the arms level with the shoulders for a moment. and then coming back to the centre. Right, fantastic. Let's go again. Deep breath in. Exhale and release. So same to the other side. It's a release in the arms. A bit of time just adjusting through the legs and then pausing there. So the front of the body, we're reaching up. Again, pressing down through the feet into the mat, so the weight's still fairly centred with this one. And then reaching a little bit further forwards. Right, our stretch is coming over to the side. So we can rest on the thigh and reach across. Okay, if it's comfortable too, you can work that a little bit lower. And just bring the hand to the side and take the arm extended directly up to the ceiling with this one. Alright, slowly just returning to that level position. That pivot round on the back foot. Just going to pivot round, reaching the arms up in the centre. As you release, 90 degrees of the elbows, draw the elbows back. And release, sweeping forwards. Arms coming level with the shoulders again, little adjustment through the legs. And returning back to the centre. Right, bring the hands round, draw the shoulders back, just got that stretch through the front of the chest. Right, fantastic. Release the arms down. We're going to forget that balance at the start. We're just going to flow from one side to the other one more time. And then we're going to bring it down to our mat to slow down. Okay, so a little adjustment through the legs. Find that comfortable point again. Deep breath in. Exhale. Right, so going back to that first side. So again, we can work with the length of the breath if you're comfortable too. But really just at your own time, your own pace as we work through. Find time. Stretch, coming over to the side. If you want to, again, just taking it a little bit lower, you don't have to. Right, that'll lunge, you're going to pivot round. I feel getting wider with each time I do it, so there we go. Hips are square, arms extended overhead. Taking the arms out to the side, because we're bending at the elbows, pulling the elbows back, and release. Come back, bring the arms level, and then return to centre when you're ready to. Let's go again, final side to go. Right, how are we doing? Legs feel like they're working a little bit harder this final time through. Okay, so moving it over to the side. Again, I'm going to stay here with you this time. You can go that little bit lower if you're happy to. Good. Here's where our lunge comes in, so take your time, steady the feet, reaching overhead. Alright, elbows bending, fingers wide. And then just returning back to the centre, that chest stretch to finish, bring the arms wide. And release. Right, step the feet a little bit closer. Right, fantastic guys. Okay, hopefully we're nice and warm after that bit. We are going to bring it down to the floor now, so we're going to just come to take a seat on your mat. Okay, and we'll start to slow it down for our final few minutes. So grab a drink if you need to, come and take a seat on the mat when you're ready to. Right, so we are going to need a little bit of room in front. Okay, so wherever you are, just make sure you've got a little bit of room to be able to step forwards when you need to. Otherwise, just find that comfortable seated position, bring the shoulders back and down. Right, I'm going to bring the hands together at the chest to start with, shoulders relaxed. And then arms extended, so the palms just facing out, lifting overhead. And releasing wide, so taking that big stretch out to the side. From here, we're just going to take a step forwards. Okay, so just one foot forwards, knees over the ankle, just to that point that feels comfortable, and then we are pausing there for a moment. Okay, so reach the arms up. I'll focus straight ahead. Right, we're going to stand the same side, so I'm going to look, hands either side of the front foot. I'm going to very gently just ease the hips back, so we're gently extending that front leg. I think you don't want to extend too much through the knee. See how the hamstring feels, how the back of the leg feels with that stretch. Just ease off if you need to. Right, and return. Bring the weight forward, bring the arms up. And release. Right, same on the other side then. So sit back, stepping forwards when you're ready to. Chest lifted, and then pausing there again for a moment. Right, as we release, hands coming down either side of that front foot. stretch through the hamstring. Okay, if it's a bit too much, just ease off, flex the knee in that a little bit more. And then releasing again when you're ready to. So the weight comes forward, arms lifted, pause in there. And release. Right, we'll come right down to the floor then. What you need to do is just take a seat and then lie yourselves down. So we're going to be starting just curled into a ball. Okay, so you can let the head, the shoulders relax, and maybe move your device if you need to, just so you can sink down on the floor while you're there. I'm just going to bring the knees into the chest, and then just pause in there. So maybe feel a little bit of a release through the lower back. Have a little bit of movement maybe as well, so just gentle rock side to side, forward and back, whatever feels comfortable. Right, we're going to keep that bend through the knees, and then just place the feet down onto the floor. Okay, from here we're going to drop the knees down to one side. Okay, so take your time, just allowing the knees just to drop down towards the floor. Okay, and then chest just facing up to the ceiling, arms, if you're comfortable too, just stretching out to the side. Okay, if it's not comfortable with that twist at all, just keep the knees in the centre, then if you prefer. Right, we're going to slowly just return to centre, and then take the knees down to the other side as well. So knees coming down towards the floor. Pause in here, right? Try and relax through the upper body, and the lower body rather, as much as you can. And then just returning to the centre again when you're ready to. Okay, so we're going to pause here. Now you can keep the knees bent, the feet on the floor if you're happy to. Okay, or if it's more comfortable, if you prefer, we can extend the legs and just allow the feet to relax out to the side. And hands just gently resting down onto the tummy. Okay, or down by your side on the floor. And we're just pausing here just for our last few moments before we finish. So you're very welcome to close the eyes if you want to. And just got a few slow, steady breaths to bring us towards the close of the session. Right, so as you release the breath, just allow the head, the shoulders to relax down a little more. And with each breath then, just allow any small areas of tension to ease off. And if you have got the hands just resting onto the tummy, maybe just aware of that movement you can feel with each breath. And then the warmth you can feel between the hands and the body as well. Keep the eyes closed, but we're going to just work through some very small, gentle movements from here. So bringing the hands together to start with. I'm going to gently take the arms overhead, so just reaching up and over. Deep breath in. As you exhale, just bringing the arms down by your side. Okay, we're just going to gently bend the knees, bring the feet that little bit closer. And then bring the knees into the chest when you're ready to. So we're just returning back into that ball, the head, the shoulders relax. And maybe adding that movement again if you want to. So we rock side to side, or forward and back. And then just pausing in the centre. Right, so from here we're going to turn onto your side. Okay, so either side, rolling across. And then just pausing there for a moment. Maybe you have still got the eyes closed, just open the eyes again. A little bit of time just to readjust. And then taking your time, we're going to slowly just come back up to seated. And then just pause it here for a moment. Okay, so take a little bit of movement through the upper body, so we're just getting used to being upright again. Arms overhead, deep breath in and release. We're going to do 2 more of those. And release. Alright, rest the arms down, just bring the hands into your lap. Take your time, so maybe sit here a moment longer if you need to, before you have to rush off anywhere and come a little closer. Thank you for joining me today. Okay, Thank you for joining us in any of the sessions we've done this week as well. It's been lovely to see people join in and making comments and reading what everyone's saying about the sessions. If you missed any sessions earlier in the week or you want to revisit any, they'll be available on the Essex Sport YouTube channel, so please have a look and have a go at any of those that you want to. But thank you for joining us today. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, enjoy your weekend, hope to see you again next week. Thank you.